Howdy YouTube, this is Steven, and I'm back, and this time I'm back with a sales report analysis, and this is something new, um, but basically what I'm going to do is go through and give you some CD sale figures from some Asian pop musical artists, and give my thoughts and opinions on those sales. So first up is Miss Nami Tamaki with the single Everlasting Love. And this single was released in June of 2015. And it had, about, a couple of tracks on the single, Everlasting Love, and then it had like two other tracks, and one was like an instrumental. All right, so ultimately, her CD sales of this single were 124 copies. Yeah, not a lot, not a lot there. And for me, I think Nami Tamaki's musical career, excuse me, yeah, Nami Tamaki's musical career, I think that is kind of like at the point where I'm like, I think it's done. I think it's done. I hate to say that because I like Nami Tamaki. I do root for Nami Tamaki. She's probably one of my favorite broke down J-pop divas. J-pop princesses. I'm really hoping that she could get it together somehow. But it feels like her career might be done as far as the music scene is concerned. Because I don't think she had a hit in years. You know, I really don't. And this song, this single is associated with like an anime too. But yeah, like the single Everlasting Love is, it was used for the opening theme for the anime Vampire Homes. So yeah. And I got these sale figures from a blog actually because it's difficult to get sales figures from Oricon, the Oricon chart organization itself, because one, it's in Japanese, and two, because you have to have a membership, and the membership costs money, and I'm like, I'm a little like, I don't feel like spending the money to get some sales figures, you know. So I got this from a blog actually, jmanmoonwalk.com .wordpress.com. So they actually spelled out .com, DOTCOM. So yeah, there you have it. So I'm hoping that Nami Tamaki can get her act together here, because I don't know. I root for Nami Tamaki. Like I said, she's one of my favorite broke down J-pop divas. I'm really rooting for her. All right, next up is the artist Crystal K, and she released a single in June of 2015 as well, called Kimi ga Itakara, which translates to Because You Were There, I believe. And she released this single in the format of CD only and CD plus DVD. And she has about 4 different unique songs, a remix to one of the songs, and then an instrumental to the main track. So she has a couple of tracks on here. And then the DVD has the music video for the title track, as well as the making of the music video for the title track. And let's see, this single, it was used as a theme song for the NTV, as in no, TV drama Wild Horses. So a J drama called Wild Horses. Scratch that. Wild Heroes. For some reason, I want to say Wild Horses. I don't know why. I keep saying that. But yeah, this was used for a basically a television show called Wild Heroes. This song, the title track, and the sales for the single were about 6,000. So okay, like she's like, Crystal K is trying to revive her career. Crystal K, she putting forth effort to revive her career here. However, she kind of missed the boat with this single. I don't know. It seems like people, to be fair, the music industry in Japan right now is tough for solo musical artists, especially solo musical artists who, weren't, popping off to begin with, like Crystal K here. Is super tough. Even vets in the music game who are solo artists are having a tough time in this industry. So, um, hang in there, Crystal K. I really hope that she can get it together as well. And it seems like Crystal K has a decent chance of getting it together for some reason. I think she's in a better position than Nami Tamaki. Um, so yeah, I really hope that she can get it together. And I got these sales figures from Wikipedia. Um, as well. I also use Generasia.com too for sales figures. All right, all right. So next on the list is Miss Koda Kumi, y'all, and she released the CD "Walk of My Life" in, let's see, March of 2015 in Japan and April of 2015 in Taiwan. So, she's going, she released it to two different music markets, at least the physical single or physical release. She may have done like the MP3 release worldwide, but I think this is for the physical CDs only. All right, so she released it in 4 different formats. She released it in CD only, CD plus DVD, CD plus Blu-ray, and a fan club CD DVD version. All right. And this is a CD album. This is the album, not a single. So it has like lots of songs on it. All right, so let's see what we got here. All right, so the album charted for about 14 weeks, and it sold about a little over 50,000 copies in total. And it debuted with sales figures of about 39,346. And I got these sales figures from Generasia.com, and I think ultimately this is respectable considering the music scene, but still, like, people expect more as far as sales from Koda Kumi because Koda Kumi is really popular in Japan. But like I said, like, it's a tough market for solo artists right now. For some reason, people aren't really feeling solo artists. It's more about groups now. Um, but I feel like these sales are like they're low, and she didn't even go gold with this album, you know. But I don't know. I guess I feel like this is sort of like considering the time, sort of respectable. I mean, she's in a better position than Crystal K and Nami Tamaki, that's for sure. Um, so yeah, so like about 50,000 um, copies of the album were sold in total. You know, and I wonder what's this album really promoted, because sometimes like artists once they get to a certain level they feel that they should not or don't have to promote their albums, and some artists can get away with that and some artists can't, you know. And right now I think that Koda Kumi needs to put some um, time into promoting her album, really. So yeah, those were the sales figures for Koda Kumi's Walk of My Life album. Next up is the sales figures for Koda Kumi's compilation album Summer of Love. And this was released in 3 different formats: CD only, CD plus DVD, and CD plus Blu-ray. Alright, and this was released in Japan and Taiwan. And both release took place in July of 2015. Alright, so this compilation album had like Koda Kumi's summer songs from throughout her career. And, you know, she also included a couple of new songs too, and a couple of videos for the new songs as well. And I think that was pretty much the only promotion that she really did for the album. And as well, I wasn't really agreeing with the fact that she was releasing this album the same year that she released her album Walk of My Life. I didn't I don't know who's in charge of the marketing or who's in charge of that at Avex, but I don't think they should have let that slide. I'm like, who let that go? Because I don't think that was a good idea. You know, people weren't really feeling Walk of My Life. You know, people didn't want to take a walk with Koda Kumi, so why do you think they want to spend a summer with Koda Kumi? You know? I mean, and it's kind of sad because this is like good material, I think, really. Like, just from like her songs X Tape and Hurricane, it makes me want to buy the compilation album. Like, I'm really seriously considering buying this compilation album because of those two songs. I'm like, okay, if that's what the album has to offer, then I'm like, okay, I want to give it a try. But I'm like, she kind of wasted good material that could have sold better if it was just released at a different time, you know? So it's kind of like a waste to an extent. And this was recycled material, so I'm not sure if she could get away with recycling this material again, you know? So the CD sales, I think I forgot to mention that. um, let's see. I think the album is currently still charting at this point. It debuted with sales of about a little less than 18,000, and then afterward a little less than 3,000 the following week, and then a little over 1,000 the next week. So far the total sales of this album are about at, a little over 20,000 copies. You know, like, you know, that sucks. You know. Because sales are important. Like, let's keep it real. Sales are important, you know. But hey, I guess what can I say? What can I really say? Just keep trying and go back to the drawing board, Koda Kumi. You know. You know. It's a little surprising to see that Koda Kumi is one of these people who are struggling in the music market because, she's had like such, good music sales in the past. But again, like I said before, I'm starting to sound like a broken record here. But yeah, it's really tough right now for the solo artist here. All right. So next up is Miss Ayumi Hamasaki, you guys. And her album A1. And her album A1 was released in April of 2015. And it was released in 3 different formats: CD only, CD plus DVD, and CD plus Blu-ray. And let's see. She released the album in Japan and Taiwan, and possibly she released like the MP3 version worldwide as well. But the physical release were definitely in Japan and Taiwan. All right. So her album A1 debuted with sales of about 34,692 CD sales. I'm like, okay, all right, These are low sales for Ayumi Hamasaki, but considering the industry considering the industry, like, okay, perhaps these are decent music sales, maybe. Like, but then the next week it drops down to like a little less than 6,000 copies. So next week, so then it's like a big drop, and then a little drop. So this album's total music sales are about 52,500 copies, more or less. And this album also charted on, it charted in Taiwan as well, but they don't provide those sales figures. They do percentages in Taiwan, the way they do it. So in her first week, she had about 22.68% of the music sales for Japanese music in Taiwan. Not necessarily just the whole music chart with that the music chart for everyone, but this is one specifically for Japanese music artists. So yeah, um, but in Japan overall, this album sold about 52,500 copies. Yeah. So yeah, a little struggle mode for Ayumi, and Ayumi is used to having like really respectable, really awesome music sales, but for a while she's been struggling for some reason, and I'm not sure if it's just because of the music market and what the music buyers want right now, or it's just because of other things. But yeah, it's surprising to see Ayumi record sales like this. All right, next up is Ayumi's mini album Six, and this was released in August of 2015, so it's a fairly recent release. And this is a CD plus DVD version, a CD plus Blu-ray version, and as well a CD only version. And this is her mini album, so there's like 6 songs on it. And then there's a DVD, and they have music videos and the making of some of the music videos. So let's see. At this point, the total music sales are about a little over 30,000, but the album is still charting because it was released. But I don't see this album doing much better than her album A1. I like if it does, it'll do like a little better, and if it doesn't, it'll do a little worse. But I see this being on par, the music sales being on par with her album A1. I don't really see this being like a big hit. Um, yeah, there you have it for Ayumi's music sales. I think that you know these were better sales than I predicted. I didn't think Ayumi would get this amount of sales from her mini album, really. So she exceeded my expectations at least. you know, and there was some type of like promotion, kinda, because she did a collaboration with a Taiwanese music group called Special, so that helped kind of promote the album as well. Um, as well, one of the songs, Step by Step, was used as the theme song for the television show um, Bijo to Bijo to Danshi. So it was used for a television show. So there was a little promotion, some music videos. So it was something. And I think she did do some actual like performances. Like she went to NHK Songs and did some performances, I think, for as promotion too. And I think she may have did an interview as well. Maybe. So she had a little promotion. So maybe that helped, you know. But I think she probably should, put a little more time into doing, promotional activity for the album. She may have better music sales. All right. So the final artist is Namie Amuro and her album Underscore Genic. Her album was released in, let's see, June of 2015, both in Japan and Taiwan. It was released in 3 different formats: CD only, CD plus DVD, and CD plus Blu-ray. And none of the songs on this album were singles. None of the songs were singles. So in that sense, there was no promotional activity for the song, or at least, no singles to help promote the album. And let's see. The album, let's see the sales. All right. The album debuted with sales of 160,000 copies. About 160,000 or 160,474 copies of the album were sold in Japan during its first week. So I'm like, okay, those are very respectable music sales for Namie. Like Namie, she's like that. She's like seems like the only person at the moment, as far as like solo artists, or at least female solo artists, who's winning. Like she's winning in this market for some reason. I don't know how exactly. No shade to Namie, because I am a Namie fan. You know, I do stand for Namie, at least at times. You know, she's like my favorite, or my most favorite, um, Asian musical artist, and maybe even just artist in general. But yeah, it's kind of like how is Namie being able to kind of like stand, the tide of the times? How is she able to sort of withstand the tide here of what the public wants? Because she's not like she's a solo artist. She hasn't been a part of a group in years. You know, but yeah, currently the total sales of this album are at 200,029,586 copies. So a little less than 230,000 copies were sold of this album in total. I'm not sure if this album is still charting. It may still be charting. It's possibly may still be charting. Um, this album has been certified platinum for shipments of 250,000 copies. Even though it hasn't sold 250,000 copies, it was certified platinum for shipping 250,000 copies. And, you know, this is probably one of her lowest selling albums in her history, in the history of Namie's career. The only lower selling album at this point is Style. And I would say that would be the legitimate lowest selling album. It sold about 21,000 copies. And Namie did put a lot of promotional activity into that, but for some reason, the public just wasn't really feeling the album at that point in time. But yeah, Namie didn't put much promotional activity into this album. She made some music videos, and she did a collaboration with David Guetta and Hatsune Miku, you know. And there were no singles to promote this album either. All the songs on Genic were 100% original to the album. But still, she was able to come up with some respectable music sales, I'm sure a lot of people would love to have these music sales she has, And she was able to do this without much promotional activity either. So I'm like, these chicks in the game, these solo artist music chicks, they need to take, have lunch with Namie and see what Namie doing. But I think I've said all I have to say for the time being. I'm going on for long enough, you guys. So thanks a lot for watching. Feel free to comment. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to give me a thumbs up. Your feedback and support are extremely appreciated and extremely valued. Until the next sales report analysis, adios and goodbye for now.